Today's editorial is again from Guardian, and the heading is How MIT Was Complicit in Allowing Jeffrey Epstein to Launder His Reputation. Let's read it. In the parallel moral universe known as the tech industry, the MIT Media Lab was Valhalla. The engineers, designers, scientists, and physicians who constitute the 24 research group housed here, the burbled the Atlantic in a profile of what it called the Idea Factory. Work in what may be the world's most interesting, most hyper interdisciplinary think tank. It has apparently been responsible for a host of groundbreaking innovations, including the technology behind Kindle and Guitar Hero. I'm not making it up. And the researchers end up pollinating other projects with insights and ideas, with a hive of serendipitous collaboration. That was written in 2012. In the past 2 weeks, we have discovered that some of this groundbreaking work was funded by Jeffrey Epstein, the financial wizard who took his own life rather than face prosecution for sex trafficking and other crimes. It should be pointed out that most of those researchers were entirely unaware of who was handling their work, and some of them have been very upset by learning the truth. Their distress is identified in the discovering that their ignorance was not accidental. A scarifying investigation by the New Yorker's Ronan Farrow revealed that the wanted Idea Factory had a deeper fundraising relationship with Epstein than it had previously acknowledged, and that it went to great pains to conceal the extent of his contacts with him. Dozens of pages of emails and other documents obtained by Farrow reveal that although Epstein was listed as disqualified in MIT's official donor database, the Media Lab continued to accept gifts from him, consulted him about the use of funds, and by making his contribution as unanimous, avoided disclosing their full extent both publicly and within the university. After the New Yorker story was published, the lab's director, Joe Ito, resigned from his post and his professorship at MIT. The president announced the usual independent inquiry by a fancy law firm. As with everything dodgy, the key to understanding the scandal is to follow the money. The Media Lab was an offshoot MIT's architecture school, funded in 1985 by Nicholas Negroponte, a man whom the term effortless superiority could have been invented. At a stormy meeting of the lab's member last week, he reportedly said that he prided himself as knowing over 80% of billionaires in the US on a first-name basis, which is how he first got to know Epstein and had accepted donations from him many years ago. From the outset, the fundraising model of the lab was unusual. It rests on corporate sponsorship, and 70 companies pay an annual subscription that entitles them to share in the lab's intellectual property without paying license fee or royalties. Its research generates about 20 new patents a year. This arrangement gives the lab its annual operating budget of $75 million, and it's the researchers the freedom to do whatever they want. It also generated its hallowed techno utopia aura. Ito's response to the crisis followed the tech industry template. First of all, profound and anguished apologies, followed by an admission that mistakes had been made and the declaration of a firm resolve to learn from them. He announced his intent to stay at the lab and begin a process of restorative healing, if you please. These laudable aspirations quickly evaporated when Farrow revealed the duplicity involving in conceding the extent of Epstein's involvement in the lab, which left some of Ito's academic colleagues, including Lawrence Lessig and Jonathan Zitron, who had calculated a message of support, high and dry. As for those sentiments to do best in future, we have heard them before from the likes of Mark Zuckerberg. We shouldn't be taken in by this cant. The ethical bankruptcy of the tech world rivals that of investment banking. The story of looking the right way morals, wrote Cara Swisher in her New York Times column, should not be seen as the unusual cautionary tale of new rouge players. The corner-cutting ethics have too often become part and parcel to the way business is done in the top echelon of tech, allowing those who violate clear rules and flout decent behavior to thrive, and those who object to such behavior to endure exhausting pushback. She's right. The most prestigious universities on the planet have morphed into hedge funds with nice academic attached. The top 10 universities in the US now have a combined endowment of $200 billion. They have accumulated much of this wealth by being nice to billionaires, some of whom use them to launder their reputations. If this can happen at MIT, then it can happen anywhere. Time to stop regarding these outfits and with awe, and remember that behind many fortune lies a crime. Well, पैसे वालों की दुनिया है और पैसे वाले कुछ आदमियों को आगे लगाकर अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट वही करते हैं जहां उनको सबसे ज़्यादा पेटेंट, सबसे ज़्यादा रेवेन्यूज मिलती हैं, सबसे ज़्यादा चौधर मिलती है. सो अगर MIT में जेफरी एप्स्टीन इन्वॉल्व था या वो किसी का फ्रंट था जिसके पैसे वो लॉन्डर कर रहा था, क्योंकि उसके बहुत सारी जो फाइनेंशियल कंट्रीब्यूशंस हैं वो टेक्निकली यूनानिमस बताई गई हैं. So obviously the money that Jeffrey was throwing at the MIT basically wasn't his either. So that looks like Jeffrey Epstein is a cover for other people, those who wanted to donate, well, I don't want to call launder money, but let's call it donate the money, and then run these bigger universities जिनका बजट इतना बढ़ चुका है. तो बड़े लोगों की बड़ी बातें हैं. तकरीबन सभी देशों में यह चल रहा है. जो जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस बढ़ती हैं, स्कूल कॉलेजेस बढ़ते हैं, उनको टेक ओवर करने के लिए लोग तैयार बैठे हैं और वो उनको हेल्प करने के बहाने ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में घुस जाते हैं एंड उसके बाद बेसिकली दे टेक इट ओवर. सो अगर $200 बिलियन का जो कंबाइंड एंडाउमेंट है, एंडाउमेंट फंडिंग को कहते हैं टेक्निकली, जो सब्सिडाइज की जाती है, वो अगर इन अमीर आदमियों से आ रही है तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि उनका इसमें क्या इंटरेस्ट है. सो चलता ये सब जगह ही है, लेकिन जेफरी एप्स्टीन को लगता यूं है कि मोहरा बनाकर वो पैसे लॉन्डर किए गए। और हम न्यूज़पेपर्स में पढ़ रहे हैं कि जेफरी एप्स्टीन के पास जितना सरमाया या जितना एसेट दिखाए गए हैं, बोले गए हैं मीडिया, नेशनल मीडिया के ऊपर, वो टेक्निकली सही नहीं है। एक जगह लिखा था उसके पास 100 एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं, बाद में पता लगा सिर्फ 15 ही हैं। और यूं लग रहा था कि ही वॉज बेसिकली ए मैथ टीचर, ए प्राइवेट स्कूल का मैथ टीचर था। उसके बाद बेयर स्टर्न्स में इसने अपना रोल प्ले किया, और उसके बाद लगता यूं है कि जो इसके पीछे जो असली पैसे वाले बंदे हैं, उन्होंने इसको मोहरा बनाकर और यूज़ किया एंड एंड में उसको डंप कर दिया। इसके मरने का और कोई कारण नहीं था, उन सबको बचाया जा रहा है। लेकिन ये हर देश में हो रहा है। एक अंदर की दुनिया है, वो अपना काम करती है, बाहर की दुनिया में हम रहते हैं, और अंदर की दुनिया का कंट्रोल और जो है वो कुछ और किस्म का है। और हम जिस दुनिया में रहते हैं उसका उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है। सो अंदर के जो हाई लेवल के जो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, उनका अपना ही एक पैरेलल मोरल यूनिवर्स है, जिसे सिर्फ वही समझ सकता है जो उसका पार्ट हो। आज यहीं, कल फिर मुलाकात होती है। नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल।